Joined by Joe Girardi, Radio.com Sports MLB Insider. Let's pivot to the Nats here. Max Scherzer, 9 earned runs allowed in his last 10 outings. He could be on his way to his 4th Cy Young Award. He looks like a bargain at $30 million per season for the Nats. I mean, when he takes the mound at this point, it's must-watch TV, or you have to be in the stadium to watch him.
Oh, I agree. I mean, he's so fun to watch him compete, and the way he kind of stomps around behind the mound and comes back up the mound, breaks his nose and seems to pitch even better after that. I don't know if it gave him even more of an edge. And I liked what he said. You hate to see players sit out an all-star game, but he said the season's more important, and he's right. And I give him and Anthony, Rendon a lot of credit for that. Rendon went to the Nats, developmental park and was with a bunch of kids. And guys need that time to get healthy. All-star break was a week long. Guys could do it and then still get their rest. I think it would be better for the players, but I understand they don't want to give the weekend up. But Max Scherzer is much-watched TV, and he's going to get the Phillies this start, and then he's going to get the Braves the next start, and those are really important games.
A month ago we were talking about what the Nationals might do come trade deadline if, I guess a little more than a month ago when they were 12 games under 500, and we were talking about this team potentially being a seller, but then they went on a tear starting on May 24th. They got the best record in baseball, and though it's probably a long shot, they're only 6 back in the division and have a ton of games against Atlanta left. Do you give them much of a chance to win the division now?
Well, they have 14 games with Atlanta, so it's in front of them. And this next, till July 31st, they got Atlanta 7 times. They got Philly. They got the Dodgers. They got Colorado. They have a really tough schedule in the next till July 31st, and it's going to be telling because, I think a month and a half ago we thought they might be moving pieces.
Right.
Well, I'm thinking they're going to try to acquire pieces now, but it's going to depend on, the next 3 weeks and how they do in this tough schedule. Good teams take advantage of parts in their schedule that aren't so tough, and that's exactly what they did. You think of the last 14 games, what they've done, and it was against the Miamis, the Kansas Cities, and the Detroits, but they did what they were supposed to do. So I think they're in a good spot. I think their top 4 starters have pitched really well, and they'll continue to pitch well. Can they put enough together in that bullpen to compete at the highest level? And that's the telling.
Before we let you go, since we the one that there's going to be a lot of active teams, and you've got some pretty big names that are rumored to be on the market, the Bumgarners of the world, Bauer, Zach Wheeler in the Mets. Apparently the Red Sox are interested in him now. So you've got 5 or 6 kind of big name, Robbie Ray in Arizona, kind of big name pitchers, starting pitchers. It always seems like relief pitchers are what a lot of teams are looking for, middle relief setup guys and closers. But do you think that with the one deadline, you're going to see a lot of activity with big names?
I do, and I think for the teams that have the pieces, I think they're going to get a great value for the pieces because so many teams are in it in the National League that I don't know how many of them are sellers. People talked about Cleveland as being sellers. Cleveland might have the 3rd best record or the 4th best record in the American League. So
right.
And they're first or second in the wild card. So I don't see them being sellers unless they fall off in the next month. You could always sell those assets at the end of the year if you don't make the playoffs. But one of the things I don't like is I don't like the one deadline either. I just don't because I think it hurts these smaller and medium market clubs that are in it right now, whether it's a Cleveland, it's an Oakland, some of the other teams in the National League, whether it's, a Pittsburgh, a Milwaukee. When you have that second deadline, I think you could move pieces that helps you for the next year.
Right.
They don't have that. And I think it's going to hurt them because they have to make the decision too early.
Yeah, they do.
And then if you make the decision and you're 2 games out of the wild card, and you make that decision July 31st, what are you telling your fan base?
It's over. There's no reason to watch us for the next 2 months.
Right. It's bad for the game.